and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. I'm Kirsten, and today I actually wanted to talk a little bit about the parks opening back up. That is happening. As I'm filming this, they're doing the pass holder previews, and then we're getting really close to the park opening. It's an exciting time, but also like a interesting time because things are going to be different. So basically what I want to talk about today is just kind of how things are, because I did get to go to Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom for the past couple of days, which was amazing. And then next week I get to go to Hollywood Studios, so if you want to see a little bit about that, I can let y'all know. But I can tell you my thoughts and everything about how things are going so far and how they went through cast previews and how things have changed and everything. So I really think that we should just get right into it, because there's plenty of information to talk about. So yeah, let's get started. So the first thing that I did notice is when you get to the parking lot, I don't know if this was just for us or if this is how they're gonna do it. While I was there, everybody would come through the gate like normal. You'd pay to park or show your pass or whatever, and then you just go. Basically, after that, we got to the next cast member and they held us for a little bit while all the other cars got parked, because they were doing every other parking spot. They would just kind of fill back every other parking spot. There would be 2 cars in each like little section, but they would leave a little section in between. I did notice when we went to Magic that after those people have been gone and they left and they went in the park, they started filling in the cars in between, so that way you wouldn't have to, be so close to the people next to you, which I thought was interesting. I don't know if that's how they're going to be doing it, but that's how they did it for us, which I'm going to be talking about Animal Kingdom first and then Magic Kingdom a little bit. I might go back and forth. But once we got parked, that's when we got out and we walked to the front of the park, to the main entrance. Before you got to the main entrance, you did have to do the temperature screening, which was easy, fast. There was no problems with it at all. Like, they made sure to have like they have like little things on the ground that you'll see, just markers to make sure you're 6 feet away from everyone. You can stand with your party and that's fine, but then once you get to that point for the temperature check, you go like by yourself, get checked, and then move on, and then the next person will go. So it was really easy. They check with like on the forehead. Then you went on to the security, which was really easy too. If you had a bag, you didn't actually take it off or open it up anymore. You actually just walk through the thing, and you have to take out your like phone and stuff, but other than that, like, you keep your bag on and you just walk right through, which is a lot easier. But it's like there's no like touching of anybody's stuff, so it's very easy, very fast, very efficient. So that was really cool to see. So once you got into the park, that was when you could just go and do rides and look at animals and everything at Animal Kingdom. You did have to make sure you had your mask on the whole time. I put mine on when I parked, and then I went in, had it on the entire time. For Flight of Passage, that was our first ride that we went on for Animal. They did a really good job with Flight of Passage. Like I said, going into the line, there's all the markers so that you can know where you're going, knowing how far you are apart from the party in front of you. Once you get to the spot where you're actually in the room, so you can get your pre-show, they're actually now doing only the first pre-show, but you will get put in both rooms, if that makes sense. So they have some of their parties, I think they have like 4 dots in the second room that you would normally go to. They have 4 dots in there, so each party would go to each dot, and then they left a few parties in the other room, and everybody would watch the first pre-show that you would normally watch. So everyone would watch that pre-show and then move in. So you don't get 2 pre-shows anymore, you just move in right afterwards. It's very efficient. Like, you still get that pre-show, so you know what's going on. You still feel like you're in, the Avatar world. So yeah, that wasn't bad at all. Because it was cast previews, majority of the time, if we were the last people into that section, we were the only ones in that room. So if you see now, like, we were dancing around just having fun, because the lady would tell us like, oh, y'all can just hang out in here and just just wait till I call you. And we were like, okay. So we just kind of like hung out and just did whatever, because like we had the whole room to ourselves, so might as well have fun with it, right? So after the pre-show rooms, we actually headed into where you would normally go, where you would get on the Banshee and ride it and everything. So we went into the room, and there was points when like you could tell they're like distancing everyone from like certain parties. Like a few people would be over here if they're all in the same party, and there would be multiple like bikes in between people. Like I said, we got put in the back a couple of times. We rode Flight of Passage 7 times that day. Yes, that is a record for us because we would only do it once, maybe not even once. But there was times when we were put on the back, and so back of the line, so we would end up with like a whole room by ourselves. And so they were like, yeah, just sit wherever. But they did a really good job with that, making sure everyone had space. Everyone, like, no one was close together. Everyone enjoyed the ride. It was a good time. So I was very pleased with Flight of Passage. They did a really good job, so yeah. So right after the first time we rode Flight of Passage, we went over to the river ride, which was just as easy. All the markers were everywhere. All the cast members were letting us know when we could go ahead to the next. That was one thing I really liked, is that there was places that there were cast members. If there was a corner to turn, like, and there's normally like a cast member there, they were standing there just so they like can talk to you for a second and then like make sure you can go ahead, and they'd say, okay, step to the next marker, and you get to go ahead. For the river ride, you actually got your own boat, which makes sense because those boats are small anyways. So we got to sit in our own boat, which was fun, and yeah. Now, one thing to know before I continue is, like you've probably heard before, there are no fast passes at the moment. You will rarely see anybody in the fast pass line. Everyone will be waiting in the same lines. We have to, get used to that. There's no fast passes, so you just kind of have to, check the times and see what you really want to do and everything. We went to Kilimanjaro Safari, which is always an amazing ride to go on, just to hang out and see all the animals. So we got on there, and everything was the same. The markers, everything had the markers, which was super nice. So we got into our car. I feel like they filled the car a decent amount, but since they had the dividers, it did get a little hot, but there was still like, this wasn't covered on the sides, so that was nice. They did mention if you feel comfortable, you can take off your mask for this ride. So people took off their masks. It was nice because it did get hot, so having the mask on added a little more heat to it, so then we were able to take them off and we weren't sweating as much, which was super good because it was a really hot day at Animal Kingdom, as per usual. But it was good. We got to see all of our animals. They all seem like they're doing good, and of course the baby zebra, so cute. Oh my gosh, I love. So once we were done there, I believe we went to Kali River Rapids, which I don't think I got video of because I didn't want my camera to get wet. So that was fun. They did not fill the boat up, or the raft. It was me and my roommate, and then one other guy, and then one other guy. Like, there was just 4 people on the raft. So it was pretty chill, because we were only a party of 2 and party of 1 and party of 1. So I feel like if you have a bigger party, you'll probably have your own boat, raft. I don't know why I keep saying boat. Then we went over to Everest. Same thing, flowed really nicely. They do not have their single rider available, I don't think. They made sure that if you had a certain amount of people, you'd sit together, and then they'd like have a certain amount of rows, and then they'd put more people, spread them out as much as they could. So once we got off of Everest, I saw one of my old coworkers, which was super nice to see. I was really sad. I really wanted to hug him, but you can't right now. So I was like, air hug. After we went and saw him, we left and went over to Dinosaur. I don't like Dinosaur. It's fine. It's a fine ride. Like, people that like it, like, good for you. I have a story behind why I don't like Dinosaur, so if you want to hear about that, let me know. But yeah, went on Dinosaur, closed my eyes and ears the whole time. No. The line for that one, I think, was the longest that we waited because you got your own vehicle. So it was a little more of a waiting game for that one because they had to load the one party and then move on. Just keep that in mind, that it's a slower process to load people on to Dinosaur. They do have their pre-show. They spread everyone out again. That was another thing that made it a little bit longer to get through Dinosaur, is they did do their pre-show. So after we went to Dinosaur, for the rest of the day, we just kind of ran around. We repeated stuff over and over. We went on things. They don't have the shows open, which was sad because I love the shows at Animal Kingdom. That was when we hit Flight of Passage multiple times, and then we met up with one other person, and then we did Flight of Passage, Everest, and Dinosaur over again. One of my favorite things that they were doing now is, since you can't meet characters now, you get to see them elsewhere, which is really cool. How they did it in Animal Kingdom and in Magic Kingdom. In Animal Kingdom, they had the characters out on the boats and they would just kind of go by. They had music on, they were dancing around. It was so cute. We saw Rafiki, we saw Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, Donald, Daisy, Launchpad. I think that's all that we saw. I didn't really pick up on the times that they were doing or how many times they did it a day, and if they had different characters every time. It would be like every once in a while we'd be walking by the water and then we'd see a boat coming out, and so I'd stop my roommate and we would see who it is, and that was so much fun. But I think it was a super cute idea for them to still include the characters. Even though you can't really get close to them, you can still see them, you can still say hi to them, and it's still definitely a magical experience for everyone, I would think. Overall, for Animal Kingdom, I honestly think they did a really good job. All the cast members made sure that everyone had their masks on, everyone was social distancing. It was just, honestly, overall, everyone did a really good job for Animal Kingdom. So now moving on to Magic Kingdom. I was very excited about Animal Kingdom, but I was extremely excited to see the castle and be back in Magic because that's like the main park that I used to always want to go to for my birthday. So it was very exciting to go to Magic Kingdom. So once we parked and everything, we walked up to the security check and the temperature screening. It was very quick, just like Animal Kingdom. Then we got onto the monorail. The monorail was super easy as well. Of course, the markers all over the place, and then you would walk up to the cast member at the top of the ramp and they would let you know, all right, how many? Okay, go to this number. And you would walk over to that number and you would stand on the number until the doors would open. And they have cast members coming over letting you know, go to one side of the car, of the cart, and sit down on one of the benches because they're gonna bring more people down, and then the other party would sit on the other side. So different from how it used to be. So different because they're not packed anymore and they can't be packed. So you had like me and my roommate and then like two other people sitting on the other side, and that was it. And it was so like, it was nice. I don't know, it was super nice. So after we got into the park, that was the moment that I was like, we're about to see the castle for the first time after like so long. Plus it's changed, it's painted differently. So I was having mixed feelings because I heard so many people's opinion about how they didn't like the castle and that it looked weird. So I was nervous about the castle, but I was also really excited to see the castle. As like I said earlier, we walked by and saw that there was lines getting into the merchandise stores, so we figured we would come later to do that. So we continued walking and we went up to the castle and made sure to get pictures of the castle. Not gonna lie, I think it's beautiful. Like, in pictures it looks more pink than it is, but then you get there and it's different, and there's gold detailing to it, and it's just, I I don't know, I think it's so pretty. I'm not gonna lie. But I do know that people have mixed feelings about it and they don't like it. But the longer I like kept passing by it and looking at it, the more I was like, oh my gosh, like, I approve. I'm sorry. So the first thing that we did, of course, we had to run over to Splash Mountain just because it was my roommate's favorite ride, and I did really like Splash Mountain, but now they're changing it, which I'm really excited about, having a Princess and the Frog ride, which is super exciting. They're just retheming it, so it's gonna be the same ride. It's just gonna be Princess and the Frog rather than Splash Mountain. We went and rode that, and then we went on to, where did we go after that? I hate myself. We went to Haunted Mansion next. Oh my gosh. If some of you don't know, I love Haunted Mansion. It's one of my favorites, probably my favorite. And I know I have some friends that are like, you don't like horror or anything scary or like ghosts, like you don't like that stuff, so that makes no sense. I know. It makes no sense, but it's fine. So yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite rides. So I was really excited to go there. The line, of course, for Haunted Mansion again it seemed longer than it actually was because it was like backed up because they used to like push so many people in that area before you walk into the building. So not having that, it made the line look a lot longer. So of course people were saying like, this is not 10 minutes long because it said it was a 10-minute wait. It's gonna look longer because all these areas and all these places are not pushing as much people as they can through anymore because we have to social distance. So if you see a long line, don't shy away just yet because it might not be as long as you think it is. It was really sad because the stretching room, like the whole stretching room scene is not a thing. I'm pretty sure it's because they're trying to get as many people through as possible. Yeah, Haunted Mansion was not bad at all either. So then we went over to Peter Pan. So we ran and did Peter Pan. We actually ended up doing it twice, I think. Was it just twice? I think so. After we were done at Peter Pan, I believe we went over to Space Mountain. Classic as always. How they did the distancing on the rides was, I just know that if it was like smaller parties, then they would put like one at the front, one at the back, like very front, like front row and back row. If not, then you got your own spaceship. Moving on from Space Mountain, I believe we went to eat. That was when we ate. The one thing that I really like about the quick service is that, which I didn't mention in Animal Kingdom, but it's both were the same thing. When you do quick service, you actually mobile order, and then when your order says it's ready, then you go up to the cast member and show it to them, and then they let you in the building. So you can't go in until it's like completely done and like it's ready at the window, and then everyone's able to get seats, which is super nice. A bunch of the tables will have a sign that say like basically you can't sit here. You want to make sure you distance yourself from other people, so they have certain tables that don't have a sign on it and you can sit there. They will have other tables that have signs on it and you can't sit there. Where we went to Magic Kingdom, as a lot of people know, they normally have like condiment bar where you can go and put a bunch of stuff on whatever you get. They have it in a couple places. They do not have that right now, of course, because everybody would be touching it and it would just be too much. So toppings they will give you actually with your food. So if you ever need anything, make sure you get it when you pick up your food. Drink stations. When we were at Animal Kingdom, I wanted just a cup of water with my food. So I walked over to the drink station. Well, the guy asked me, which was actually really cool. Coming out with my food, the guy said, "Are you getting a drink?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Follow this way." So I walked that way, and then there was a person standing there surrounded by like tables, so nobody can like walk over to the drink station. And he would ask you like, what did you get to drink, or what do you want to drink, or whatever. Quick service is definitely different. You have to mobile order, so make sure you have the My Disney Experience app so that you can mobile order and you can keep up with all the wait times and everything, because it makes your trip to Disney so much easier. So after we ate, we went over to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, but we ended up seeing as we were exiting that the line shortened up a lot, so we just jumped back in line and then waited like 5 minutes and rode it again. So for Magic Kingdom, they have them on the boats as well as the parade floats that kind of come by. So it's not, they don't have a parade. They have every whatever amount of time, they have certain characters come out, and they have one character on a horse, and then they have a parade float with a bunch of different characters. Well, the first parade that we saw, the Move It, Shake It parade, which normally they have multiple floats, they only have the one, and then there's the parade dancers that out in front of it as well as behind it. But then after that, when we were back waiting for her friend, we got to see, oh, we saw the princesses first, that's what it was. After that, we ended up seeing another one, which was kind of cool. They turned the corner and Gaston was on the horse. The parade float that had Alice, Peter Pan, Pooh Bear, Aladdin, and Mary Poppins, I think. And then Tigger was bouncing behind them, just following the parade float, which was so cute. So that was really cool. We also saw Chip and Dale on the boat. They were out in Frontierland with their cute little outfits. That was a really cool thing. I honestly really like how they did the characters. When you go out behind the castle, you will see, if you look up, they had the stepsisters, Cinderella's stepsisters. They were bickering back and forth on the castle. And then after that, we went on Pirates, which was always a good time. We went on Splash again. We went on Thunder Mountain, and then we also went on the carousel because the carousel is the classic and you kind of have to. So we made our rounds around the park. We also went on Space Mountain again. Oh, one thing I didn't mention, I guess. They have hand sanitizer stations throughout the park. They even have them like right before you get on the rides, as well as right after you get off the rides. So they have hand sanitizer everywhere. At the end of the day, for the shops, for the Emporium, they had a virtual queue to get into the Emporium. I guess they had a lot of people trying to go in and buy stuff. So there was a virtual queue. I don't know if they might do that as well. But they have cast members that you can go up to and let them know you want to go, and then they will let you know, I guess, a time to come back. But yeah, I was very happy with how everything went. Yeah, honestly, through my whole experience so far, I think that every cast member there has been doing such a great job making sure of it, that everyone's staying safe, and I think that Disney in general is doing a really good job at it. I'm really proud of all of our cast members that have gone back to work. It's just been a really good experience, and I'm really excited to go next week. But yeah, I just want to thank y'all for watching and just staying to the end of the video. There was a bit of information, but I really appreciate y'all. And if you want to hear about Hollywood Studios, let me know. And if you have any more questions or anything, please go over to my Instagram, Kirsten's New Groove _, or you can comment on this video here. Yeah, I want to thank you guys so much, and yeah, if you have any more questions, let me know, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.